of what it was supposed to be used for, but it's already budgeted. Okay?
Questions? We just need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6 on the agenda is an ordinance to appropriate $150,000 and authorize the mayor to advertise the Highland Cleveland Sycamore Street traffic signal replacement. This is streets and sidewalks.
Yes. Mr. Finney went over all of the reasons why this should be done. The money will come out of the paving budget for this. Any other additional questions on why or anything? Happy to answer them.
Is that how it's been done in the past, out of paving? I can't remember. I'm just asking.
No,
And why are we doing it that way now?
because we actually have a paving levy to do it. Last time I replaced traffic signals.
Okay, it was pre that. Okay, yeah, that's, you know, the deal. I've always asked because of the money that's really, people were complaining about their front ends of their cars getting tore up because roads are rough. And we get the $1 million or so that comes in every year to pave the streets. But this is a little unusual. I thought if that's the way you guys want to do it,
Well,
if you think that's the way it should be done, it can't come from anywhere else, right?
the ordinance, the annual paving ordinance, or the paving levy permits this activity.
There's no allowable expense.
Right. That's the way to say it.
Oh, awesome.
If you got in trouble and you needed to pay more roads, you could use other funds if you need to do it. But that's the main. Yeah.
We have it in the budget as part of the $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need the new one out on Chestnut Street. We're still not thinking about maybe taking down the $9,000. So still a possibility that we talked about.
If city council was willing to do that, I would certainly do that. Sure.
Okay. Will you give me a heads up before when you're going to ask for
Oh yeah.
a out there? Because if not, I have the paperwork to send that through to the state as a non-essential streetlight.
Sure.
Because it is, and they can ask to have it removed. So I'd rather have it taken out there
Sure.
because it has no use.
You're referring to Myrtle and Riddle.
Correct.
Right. We could harvest the actual signals
And the poles.
control cabinet, poles not.
No poles. Not tall enough, probably,
They're not strong enough
for the
mass.
for the long pole. Okay. Just keep me up. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Even with that school being utilized, it's a non-essential light at that intersection.
It would be considered not warranted. There's not enough traffic, not enough school walkers. They don't walk to that school at all.
Right.
And those are the two primary accidents. 8 different ways that can warrant a traffic signal. The 3 primary are school walkers. In fact, the high school signal was warranted because of the school walkers. And that was the only reason it was warranted. In this case, there's no walkers, there's no accidents, and the average daily traffic is way low. The intersection is not it's not a blind intersection or a bad curve geometric. It wouldn't be warranted through geometrics of the intersection.
We paid for somebody to look at that one
Yes.
of it crack, right? Because somebody did get killed there several years ago, and people were complaining and said we need a street light there. And even that one was not warranted because there wasn't enough traffic.
And
Or
Is that something we can add to the agenda then for next month?
Yeah, we've gotten off topic a little bit. So back to Highland second part. Are there any other questions about that in particular?
And you're still keeping up. I don't know if council's received it yet, but the things that Pat sent around that I love is a breakdown year to year of total street miles paved. and you're still, what was it this year? Was it over 10 for the 2022? It was, I believe, more than we did last year with the Freedom Project and with this. So, still putting the levy money to work.
And the grant money.
And grant money, yeah. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions on this, what's pleasure of the committee? Yeah.
Ordinance.
All right. Number 7 on the agenda is approval to repave South Freedom Street with bricks and divide the project into phases. This is also
As of late, it's been decided to re-brick that section of South Freedom in 3 different phases to offset the cost.
And just one question I said, Nick had called me and asked me to ask, and just to make sure, any bricks that will be taken out that aren't used, will you guys still continue to save them for another project down the road?
Why wouldn't you use them?
I know, but I'm just saying, if they're not, if they're usable.
Street department,
Okay.
they can hopefully be protected.
Okay, that's just, he wanted to make sure it wasn't included in any bids that, any of the bricks would go out of town.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have a question about procedure here. Number 5, and on this one it says approval. Why are these not being forwarded to the regular council meeting for a vote? I don't understand what that means. Why are we voting here? I don't remember us voting.
Well, when it was in committee, we had talked about giving the approval of changing the money that was allocated to where it was going. So it was just reallocating it. I don't know, maybe the wording was just off. But
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know. When you look at our ordinances, I don't have it in front of me.
we have to
Council action is done by ordinance or resolution, not by a vote at this. My understanding of this committee is to move things forward for a formal vote. Is that what we did for number 5, or did we approve?
Well, let me get number 7 first, because that's going to be part of the larger paving budget. And
Right.
this was a hot topic. We wanted to make sure.
I'm talking about. Will 5 and 7 be on our December agenda? Well, then, how are we authorized to make a change at this meeting without it going to that?
That was
I spoke to Bob and Brian about it.
Well, on number 5, I haven't talked about, the money's already appropriated in that fund, in the line. It's just a matter of moving it from one purpose to another. So it's more just to let council know about it and make sure they didn't have any issues with it. But it's already been appropriated in that fund, so there's not any additional approval necessarily needed.
Right.
So it doesn't even require a vote at this committee.
It's
Correct.
more just
Okay.
because of the amount, being capped.
Okay.
We want to let council
I
know.
just where you want to hear motions and approval. Those are formal actions.
I'm not sure about 7, though. That's a different.
7 was just a heads up again. It doesn't.
Yeah.
We don't need any action. We could have left it in committee. We could have left both of these in committee.
That's
Um,
fine.
but I think there's
It's not like I'm raising an objection to the ideas behind them. I just don't want us to get in the habit of approving things at this meeting that need to go on for a formal vote. That's
I don't want to get in the habit also of things disappearing. And
Yeah, no, I get it.
all right. Do we? What?
So do we need a motion?
We don't need a motion, but I'm asking. Do we have a motion for approval?
If you need it, then I'll move. Or don't need it, I'll still move.
There's nothing stopping us from voting. Don't get me wrong. I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8 on the agenda is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Portage County to operate meter reading equipment at 4481 Hayes Road. This is utilities. Kay, do you mind? I think we spoke about this in the committee. Was there any specific questions or specific items you wanted to highlight regarding this?
No, it's just in conjunction with the new water meter project that's completed. This was just to add additional equipment out at that Hayes Road lift station, and it's a 10-year contract. We only pay $600 for that 10-year contract.
Was there any questions from the committee on this?
No.
And this one is an ordinance, so what is the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Number 9 on the agenda is an ordinance to amend ordinance 2015-149 recycling collection rates. This is also utilities committee. Kay, was there anything you wanted to add to this, or is there any questions from council? I think we've discussed this at length.
No, it's just, the $8.50 for 3 units or less, and then the $3 for 4+ units will go into effect January 1st for recycling.
Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with the premise behind this, but this I don't think was artfully done. It looks to me like a literal cut and paste job. Somebody pasted over our ordinances. There's I believe, a misprint here. H at the end should read common roof, not common room. Correct? I mean, the idea that you have 3 units under the same roof.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any problem with the new I, except that it replaces a section in our code that defines recyclable materials, which I think we need to keep. I mean, if we're going to have a section of ordinance about recycling, I don't know that we want to get rid of the definition for what recyclable materials means. So I think we need to fix this. That makes sense. I don't know who put this together, but
Were the 2 items then just the common room and then the definition of recycling?
yeah, because I guess in an effort to keep everything aligned, two things. H had to be changed to define multi-family residence. I'm not sure what this current I being proposed is there for. I'm having trouble understanding that. But if that's I, because next we go to J, the previous I is a definition of recyclable materials, and I don't know why we would get rid of that.
And I don't have that in front of me, Rob, but
Yeah.
I know that those 2 sections were reviewed with myself and Mike Reynolds and the law director.
Okay. Well, and again, except for the misprint, I don't really have any objection to that, but we need to squeeze in another letter in there. That's what I'm trying to say. Because without defining recyclable material, I think we have a little bit of a problem. Maybe I could send this to you. I'm sure we could fix this by the December meeting. It's just a few technicalities.
Was there any reason that was removed? Okay, was there any reason that was removed, or is it just something like
Typo oversight.
I think what happened was somebody
H.
literally cut out or put in a 2 new
Oh, I got you.
I's and J, or H and J, H and I, and just pasted it right over a piece of paper that had the existing H and I,
Yeah, and that's
but
what
not
happened.
realizing you were covering up a critical definition.
And that's what was
Nothing
done
happened.
by the law director when we met with him.
Okay.
So those new changes are H and I, how it's in this that you have what you just were referring
Right.
to.
And so there's the letters go up to N. My suggestion is we just realign everything and end up with an O. I can send this to you through email. I think we can fix this. It's just I don't want to remove a critical definition for the sake of adding this. And then my only other comment was on the tracking sheet. The wording just kind of bothers me a little bit. Because this is what we're going to end up putting in. I forget which number it is, 16 or 106210, I believe. But at the end it says those units in excess of 3 units will be charged $3 a month to cover. I mean, units and units are the same thing. I think what it needs to say is something along the lines of those residential units in excess of 3 billing units will be charged $3. So again, I think we just need to tighten up the language there a little bit.
So if you want to send me that
Yeah.
in the email, Rob, we'll take care of that.
Okay. Those are my only comments.
So with those changes, are we all right to move that forward? Is there any other questions? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
All right. Number 10 is a resolution of intent for Hillcrest, Zeta, and Spruce water improvements. This is utilities, but is there anything you want to add on this? This is what we're taking care of after,
Just
as long as it moves forward.
an odd resolution that the state wants and stating that the city will reimburse our water fund as needed with this grant. The first time we've ever had to do this. That's all.
Any questions on this item? We have a motion to move this forward.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 11 on the agenda is an ordinance to appropriate $95,000 and authorize the mayor to advertise for the Meridian Street parking lot improvements. This is planning committee.
Yes, so in our council packet last week, we got sort of a diagram for how that parking lot would be redesigned with some landscaping and so forth. So it's just a matter of appropriating the $95,000 that we anticipate it will cost and then sending it out to bid. And there was a breakdown of what the estimated cost would be. It really came out to a little under 85 with a 10% contingency fund.
Any questions from council? What's the pleasure of the committee? Ordinance. Number 12 is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the Portage County Public Defender. This is also planning.
Yeah, this is a yearly thing we do to cover indigent people who need a public defender. I apologize I didn't do it for last week, but I did look over the contract and compare it to last year's, and it's identical. It's the same $150 charge per instance. So it's just housekeeping stuff.
You don't have a choice, really.
I'm ready to say ordinance.
Oh, I'm not sure.
No.
All right. So what's the pleasure of the committee? Ordinance. Number 13 on the agenda is ordinance authorizing the appropriation of $200,000 in RLF funds for the development at Chestnut Commerce Center. This is community and economic development.
Yes, we discussed this. It would be utilizing UDAG and Section 17 funds, which are unrestricted RLF funds. And there's about a $300,000 balance. We would be utilizing $200,000 of that. And Mayor, do you have anything further? And this is not recapturable, right?
Any questions from council? What's the pleasure of the committee? Is to approve the adjustments to payroll and payroll-related appropriations for 2021. This is the finance director.
Yeah, so this is something we do every year. And what this does, it covers any shortness of payroll appropriations. Generally, it comes from retirements that happen during the year. So when you do that, you also have the Medicare associated with the retirement and pension. So we have multiple lines when you have those kind of retirements. So this just trues that up. It's not a huge amount in total, but we'll just clean those lines up so we can finish off the payroll for the year.
Any questions on this item? It's the pleasure of the committee.
Ordinance.
Right. We get a formal motion to adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn. Committee of the whole.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Did you?
I just wanted to mention that I had a phone call today, the chief had one a couple days ago, from a gentleman by the name of Robinson, who was an officer at the arsenal, the old arsenal, the Garvin. Apparently, Wyndham is closing down their fire department, according to them. I do not know that to be true. But at any rate, they are asking if we would pick up the, we used to do it, years ago back in 2010 and down. used to do that. We have to have more discussion on it, the chief and I do, because I want to see how it affects our operation. They don't do a lot of calls out there, but they pay by the call. And the agreement that is put together shows the cost. 2010, I think that was around $2,700. I don't know what it would be today, but we did not write the deal. It's a memorandum of understanding, basically. It's what they use. But it's written by the National Guard people in Columbus. This guy said it's above his grade to be involved in the writing of it. But they're looking for someone to pick that up. And above the arsenal is in Portage County, and they'd like it to be a Portage County group that takes it there. It's about 10% of the arsenal that's in Trumbull. But I don't think that's a problem with us signing that. But those are things that we need to check out. But I just want to know whether the council is all right with me going ahead and looking into this.
What about our staffing?
Well, that's part of what we have to look into.
Okay.
This is not something that we would have staff for specifically.
Because you wouldn't make a lot, but if we're paying.
Not make 2 or 3 calls a year.
But if you guys are already running short staff, doing more overtime.
It'd be very similar to how we respond to Charleston.
Right.
When we go to Charleston, I'm not sure the reason we do is anything that comes in as chest pain, cardiac, respiratory related, not fall from Charlestown, but they're fall to the department. There's no guarantee any person else is going to show up. I go out there, our squad goes out there and hands something that's extreme, such as a full rest, cardiac arrest, respiratory distress, respiratory arrest. 2 guys can't efficiently handle that call.
Right.
So we end up, everything we said in Charlestown is always a 2-man squad.
Is it the same arrangement, paid per incident?
No, they guarantee payment for everything.
Oh.
Whatever insurance that their resident doesn't pay. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty confident now, right there. So whether it's a resident or non-resident, if any incident that happens in Charlestown is EMS, they will guarantee 100% payment for our service. What was arranged a long time ago with the arsenal when we had them, they paid for the hourly rate of the individuals going and an hourly rate per diem for the equipment that was sent on a pay-by-call basis. And I think that's basically how they broke it down. Like 2,500 estimated like 10 calls a year, and at that time it was probably a year because like $250 a month. Well, obviously that was 11, 12 years ago. So the ambulance run now is roughly $600 or more. So,
Mark, I'm just curious. Just seems like Wyndham is quite a haul from here. What would be the mileage from?
us
Like
to
from
point of the arsenal.
Well, we go to Charleston now.
Correct.
Right. So what would be the difference between Charleston to
If we have
Wyndham?
all the way, depending on where it's at inside the arsenal, and they can't. They're pretty confident that anything that would happen would pretty much be on the training facility where they do all the training. That's where all the calls are done. And they said that they're pretty confident that they can get us to where we're going to the gates, so we're not going miles. By the time a good guesstimate to get there to start rendering patient care, probably every 20, 25 minutes to the arsenal.
That's what one of the old contracts said.
Keep us posted. Yeah, upon a first impression, I'm not against you continuing to talk with them a little bit, but it also raises the questions about distance, numbers, total cost, and the effect on our staffing here. If we have a run that takes at least 25 minutes south, 25 minutes back, and an hour there, it just questions. I mean, I'm not against it at all, but it's complicated
discussion to have, but I'm not against it.
Do you know when their contract is up? Does it coincide with the safer
Expires the end of the 31st of December, if I'm not mistaken.
summer?
That's what we kind of for the last supposed to be was left with the election.
Okay.
And I understand what the same it is the mayor does. His words were that window was closing down. Now his window closing down their services. They don't want to be providing a contract with the National Guard anymore. That's more likely the case than the fire department's disbanding, because there are other options that they said that they were pursuing to get a hold of the Falls Fire Department, but they wanted to contact us first because we have a greater portion of the arsenal than Fulton County.
But it might be a little red flag if you say that, you know, Wyndham is just cutting him loose. It might likely because it's not.
Well, there's
Hey.
a history on this.
Oh, there's more to it than that?
They went to Wyndham because we never responded to them.
That was
For 2 years, we did not respond to them requests. So, there's a little bit of history.
Well, I guess what I was saying though is if Wyndham isn't supplying it and they're not shutting down, it's likely because they're losing money or something.
they're smaller.
I'm just saying that's something for us to be considerate about.
I can't speak for Wyndham. The rumor that I heard is that they're having staffing issues and they can't commit to a contract.
Okay.
Makes
To
sense.
say that they can provide the services as a 24-hour staff department as we could.
So, okay.
In theory, Ravenna City is the closest, other than Newton Falls, fully staffed, professional 24-hour covered department closest to the arts.
I do think this is a great opportunity to build the relationship with the arsenal, as well as not just with the fire departments and the trainings and stuff that the DoD can put on that you can get invited to, but also different programs where they can do different work, different things for the city at no labor costs.
What we did in the past, and again, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure, like, even if we backfill and have people come in overtime and staff our station because we sent the crew out there and left the short staff, they also paid for those charges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guarantee is, is there a guarantee that people will come in to staff the station even if they get reimbursed? Yes.
One of the contracts in the state that there was an emergency or a fire in Ravenna, and they had a problem at the same time that we would not respond to that. We would take care of our police first.
It's important.
Yeah, but since we're being on a contract, I found it would probably be to them what they want is an alternate service if we were unavailable. It would be fair to them and let them decide who they want. But that would make probably the most sense. I mean, you have Edinburgh gets outside of there, but Edinburgh is like they're on call. Obviously, they're not going to have the resources that anybody else would have either. So,
Was that something, as you're having the conversation, we just get an update, either the December meeting or Ms. Michael's committee meeting? Maybe we could have a longer discussion.
So then I'll go ahead and check it out without making a commitment.
All right. Well, then at 7:30, need a second. Oh, for the motion to adjourn. Can we get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So at 7:39, I'll call to order the November 22nd special city council meeting. Would you call the roll or read the call?
We need to excuse, but I'll read the roll.
I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Molesky
And Christina.
and Christina.
We have a second.
Yep, I'm second. Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You are hereby notified that a special meeting of the Ravenna City Council has been called for Monday, November 22nd, 2021, immediately following the committee of the whole meeting at 7 p.m. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss and/or act upon Resolution 2021-096 to declare the intent to reimburse the 670 Water Fund for the Hillcrest Data and Spruce Water Improvement Project.
All right. And with one item on the agenda, the only item is resolution number 2021-96.
A resolution declaring the official intent and reasonable expectation of the City of Ravenna on behalf of the State of Ohio, the borrower, to reimburse its 670 fund for the CG11Y/CG12Y Hillcrest Data Spruce Water Improvements with the proceeds of tax-exempt debt of the State of Ohio.
Yeah, this is sponsored by Utilities. Is there anything? Well, I didn't see. Is there anything you want to add? Are we okay? Is there any other questions from council for this item? Do we have a motion to waive the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
It's a resolution. Thank you. Motion to pass. Yeah, that's all we need. Do we have a motion to pass?
Second.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Kelty?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
All right. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Here, I took